Hi, friends. Today, you already know you are making your own challenge. I want you to be as creative as you possibly can. Now, before you get started, let's talk about the rules so that you know how to make your own challenge. You must use at least 3 paper or sock balls for your challenge. So that's up to you. You must use at least 1 target for your challenge. So a target can be a cereal box, a basket. When we did bowling, we used toys as our targets. You can use at least 1 target for your challenge, so you can have more. Number 3, you can use other common objects from your home, but you need to list them, and it's a good idea to ask for permission before taking certain things to use for PE. Your challenge must have a minimum of 3 rules, but no more than 5. The challenge and game needs to be safe and fun. You can be creative and design your own PE challenge, or you could use a variation of one that we have done in PE before. Okay, I want this form due the next time that you come to PE. All right. So we have all of our rules already done and talked about. Now let's go in and let's answer these questions. So I'm going to give you an example of my assignment. Okay, I don't want you to copy me, but I just want to walk through them with you. So first question, what is the name of your challenge? Example, I said the flip-flop challenge. If you remember, last time when we did the striking, the flip-flop challenge was the one with the book, and you had to flop the ball up and flip the book over and catch it on the reverse side and keep going. So that's an example of a name of my challenge. You can be creative and name it whatever you want to name your challenge. Okay, so then I would just type in the flip-flop here. All right, next question? What supplies do students need to do the challenge? How many of each item? So I put in an example of how I want you to write out that. Let's go off of the flip-flop challenge. You would need 1 book, 1 paper or sock ball, okay, and that's it, right? That's all we needed for the book, for the flip-flop challenge, okay? I have that. What skills were your PE challenge working on? Okay, check all that apply. If it works on a different skill, type it in the other option. So I'm looking through, seeing what would go best with the flip-flop challenge. The underhand throw, overhand throw, rolling, catching, striking with an implement, kicking, volleying, or other. Well, we definitely were working on striking with an implement because we were using the book to strike the sock ball in the air and then catching it on the other side or receiving it. So striking would definitely be the main challenge the main skill that my challenge is working on. All right, so I can move on to the next challenge. The next question. If your challenge works on multiple things, like maybe underhand throwing and catching, you could select 2 things. You can select as many things as you need that goes along with your challenge. All right, now it says, what are the rules of your challenge? Remember, you need at least 3 rules and no more than 5 rules. So I said, for example, here's how you're going to write out your rules. So for example, rule number 1, you must take a step back every time you make your ball into your basket. So that's an example of a rule that I've used plenty of times in the challenges that you guys have done online. So for the flip-flop challenge, that's a pretty simple challenge. I would like yours to be a little more complicated, but or a little more creative. But let's just say rule 1, stand in place. Right, rule number 2, hold book in hand and place sock ball on the top of book. Book in hand like a paddle is what I'm going to say in the rules to be specific. Okay, rule number 3. Use the book to toss the ball up in the air, flip book over, and receive the ball on the reverse side of the book. Okay, so those are my rules. I'm going to say last rule number 4, continue for 30 seconds and see how many times you can receive the ball on the book. Continue flipping for 30 seconds and see how many times you can receive the ball on the book without the ball hitting the floor. Okay, so those are my rules. I have 4 there. I would be allowed to have one more rule if I needed to, but I think those are pretty good rules and instructions for my game. So tell me anything else we need to know about your challenge. That's our next question. I think that I've explained my challenge pretty well with the rules. Let's say that you need to just explain a little bit more about your challenge. You could do that here. But if you don't feel like you need to say anything else about your challenge, you can say nope or no if you don't have anything else to tell me about your challenge. Basically, if you do need anything else to say, the reason why is because we are going to share these challenges with our virtual class. So that way we can do them together. But if you don't need anything else to share, then you can move on to the next one. Congratulations, you have planned out your PE challenge. Make sure you practice it because next week you will be recording your challenge and sharing it with the class. And it just is a little checkbox. Woohoo, I planned out my challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and check that off and then hit submit. Okay? And that is it. I have submitted my challenge. Okay? That is all you need to do for today's lesson. Like I said, I want you to be creative and I want you to think of something that we haven't done already. For example, earlier in the year we did, underhand throwing into the basket, seeing how many times you could make it in. Every time you made it in, you took a step back. I want something a little bit different than that since we've already done that challenge. You can create different variations. For example, we could do a throw and a catch in there and then tossing it into the basket. Just something a little different. Even if you can think of a different skill that we haven't worked on yet, I'm fine with that. I just gave you some ideas like rolling, underhand throw, overhand throw, catching, bowling. We've done that, which is the rolling skill. Volleying, we've done some volleyball skills. We've also done juggling skills before. So if there's different ways that you can come up with certain things, that I'm fine with that. Like I said, be creative and have fun with this. Make sure it's fun and safe and go over the rules and make sure that you follow each step. Okay, have fun. Don't forget to submit this today by the end of class. All right, you may get started.